So let's get started. How long does it take to transition to Dynamics 365 Business Central? Well, a transition from Dynamics GP to Dynamics 365 Business Central takes between 3 months and a year. So depending on the size and complexity of your project. Project size is broadly defined by the number of modules used, as well as factors such as complexity of your business processes, volume of data, and any third-party or ISV add-on products. Here's an overview of what a small, medium, or large project usually includes. So, a small project typically takes 3 to 5 months, a medium project takes typically 4 to 6 months, and a large project can take 6 to 9 months or 6 to 12 months. These size classifications are general guides, and there are other factors that can impact a project, resulting in a change to its classification. For instance, some companies needing the jobs module or project management have a level of complexity that means their project is categorized as large. But other companies needing the same module with less complexity might have a medium project. So again, also we need to take in consideration it's your choice. Are you going to do a migration or fresh start? So for example, if you've been on GP for a long time and your business processes have changed, maybe you've opened up into different markets, you have different lines of business, you might decide that you don't want to take forward the existing footprint of Dynamics GP into Business Central, and you want to do a fresh start. So start all over, start from scratch. So again, that will obviously impact the amount of time and effort it's going to take. So again, just emphasizing the factors that can affect the migration time, project size, so again, number of modules used, complexity of the business, and volume of data. Data quality, if the data is messy or outdated, it may need to be cleaned and organized before migration. And this also gives you the chance to look at that and say, do I need to bring all that history over? Or, is it cause some frustration, the master record IDs, we don't really like them, or the way that we've structured our fixed assets, or the way that we've named our inventory, we want to change that. So it's a great opportunity to look at your data and see what refresh can be done. Customization, so again, the level of customizations that you have and are they needed going forward. So keep in mind, the more effort your team puts into the project, the greater the cadence. So again, we want to give the whole team the responsibility of being involved. Because again, the more effort they put into it. And again, we look at the learning opportunities. There's nothing stopping you from learning about Business Central now today. We've got great videos out there. There's Microsoft Learn, lots of opportunity to get training ahead of time so that we can understand. There's even a series of videos that show you how you do something in Dynamics GP and how you would do that in Business Central. So again, I don't want us to think that, when you went on to GP and the timeline and the complexity of putting that application in, we're looking for a faster uptake on moving to Business Central because again, we're using the tools that they're already familiar with. All of that, those Microsoft, the fundamentals of it, the foundation of it permeates again from GP into Business Central. And a lot of the great things that we like about in GP, you're going to see those in Business Central as well. So again, just gives you a recap, talks about what modules is in small, medium, large. And again, we want to have those conversations. So again, reach out to your account manager so you can have those conversations about your project and what it's going to look like. So preparation, how to prepare for transitioning to Dynamics 365 Business Central. So there's many steps. I've just mentioned 4 of them. So there's 4 important steps you can take to prepare for transitioning to from Dynamics GP to Dynamics 365 Business Central. So again, it's a good time to document your processes. This may identify inefficiencies with your current procedures and processes, and that will help clarify the strategic intent of your project. So again, we look at it and we say, okay, our current state, our desired state, what's the impact and measurement or the metric that we're going to have for that. So for example, right now, if we're doing a lot of manual approvals, or there's a lot of paper being passed around in the office, that process, we know that today we have technology that can really automate that process. And so what is the cost saving to you as a business? Not to mention the employee satisfaction. We want to increase employee satisfaction from using these applications. So that's really important. So reviewing your data, we talked a little bit about that on the previous slide. Close inactive records, merge duplicates, and verify subledgers are in balance to the GL. So again, we want to make sure everything's nice and clean and ready to go. Then we want to go ahead and make a wish list. Are there features in Business Central or of the whole entire Microsoft stack that you want to explore? So remember, when we're moving to Business Central, it's not just Business Central in itself, but the entire Microsoft stack, that whole interoperability of all those applications, and we want to be able to leverage the power of that. It's going to increase our efficiency, we're going to be more productive, and our talent that we've attracted is going to stay because we are using state-of-the-art cloud technologies. Consider your pain points. What are the recurring problem areas in your business processes? Are there some manual processes that could be automated? So we really want to make sure we're talking about that. So again, what things that you're like, gee, if I could just do that better, let's make sure that we're aware of those and we can work together as a team and make that happen. This slide's about opportunities. So migrating from Dynamics GP to Dynamics 365 Business Central involves several challenges that businesses need to be aware of. So we talked about the data migration, talked about customization and integration. So integration, we want to make sure that sometimes when people look at the application, they say, okay, we're going to, GP, it's our business application, and we think about that. Sometimes we forget about all the different data points that we might have integrated into GP. So we want to make sure that we've included all of them. Or maybe there's some new areas of legacy systems or systems outside of the core ERP that we do want to integrate. So again, we want to be able to look at that. So we look forward to sharing the ROI and TCO data to assist you in building your business case for this project. So again, these are reports and tools that we have to share it with you. I just put a screenshot in there. So this is the TEI study for the ROI, or return on investment, for migrating from GP to Business Central. They interviewed and surveyed 160 different accounts of clients that moved from GP to Business Central. So again, this is a high-level snapshot of the types of value streams that those clients took advantage of. So addressing these challenges with a well-thought-out migration plan and leveraging expert guidance can help ensure a smoother transition. So if you have any specific concerns or need further details, feel free to ask. And I think I forgot one of my points there. I did. About involving your team, and we're going to talk about this in the next slide as well, is the people that have been using Dynamics GP, they're the SMEs, the subject matter experts. They're the ones that have evolved it to where it is today. So again, we want to make sure that we're getting input from them. What are their concerns? What do they see it, their pain points are? So we want to make sure that we involve not just IT or not just finance, but everyone who might be touching the applications going forward. What's important to them? So we want to make sure we involve them. Things to be aware of. So again, done this many, many times. That's why you're working with us. Started doing this 6 years ago, but things that we want you to be aware of. One of our previous team members used to always have that saying, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, right? So why not let's do it today or tomorrow? That's the next best time. So again, even though we might not be ready to migrate tomorrow to Business Central, we want to make sure that we're having those conversations, and we want to have awareness and be prepared and plan that out. Again, we've had the announcement about Dynamics GP. We want to make sure that we're not waiting till the very end to make our decision. Now is the time to plan. So again, always want to make sure that you provide enough time for planning. So we don't want to have inadequate planning. So again, failing to thoroughly plan the migration process can lead to unexpected issues. So again, we want to make sure, and that's why, when we're working with you in our partnership, we're going to have timelines, resource allocations, and risk management to make sure that we have a successful project at the end of the day, according to the business value that you want to receive from that project. Something to be aware of as well, we talked about data quality. Again, we don't want to be bringing the data over in a state that's not going to be working with the way that we want to work with. And that's, again, mentioning what we talked about a couple of webinars ago, is we have tools that bring over the history of GP. And so you can still be able to look at your new data in Business Central as well as the GP data that we bring over. But again, we don't want to bring over, we want to clean up that data before we bring it over. We talked about user training. So again, making sure that we want to have good employee retention. We want to make sure that they don't feel like they were just thrown to the wolves and using this new application. We want to make sure that we have that. So they need to be adequately trained, and we want to make sure that there is a smooth transition. So lack of training can lead to decreased productivity and user frustration. The transition to a new user interface and workflows requires time for users to familiarize themselves and become proficient. So make your team part of the process. We want them to take ownership of the system and increase productivity and employee satisfaction. Integration, we talked about. Testing. So again, when we have customization or configuration and integrations, we want to make sure that we adequately test things. We don't want to be going live in the system and then realizing that we didn't test out something. Your application map, again, is what is the footprint of GP? What are all the different add-ons or customizations or integrations that we're currently have or that are on our wish list? So we want to be aware of those things. So there's just some of the things to be aware of. And we don't want to set the expectation that it's going to happen, in 2 weeks. We want to make sure that people do testing. I've just been involved in a project where we have to test things out. And again, this is the thing that people don't want to do. But by testing, things come out that you're like, oh, that isn't working exactly how I thought it would work. And then you're aware of that and you're not going to go live and go, oh my gosh, that's not working the way it needs to work. So again, want to be aware of those things. So that's important. Just touching back on some of the slides that we did before, which is the support lifecycle. So please be aware of that, those dates. And I know sometimes it might appear, feel like that date's a long way away, but we're almost at 2025. So I want us to be able to start, again, let's plant that tree today or tomorrow. Let's get on that.